Dreamcast 2? Is it a thing? Well, it kind of is, kind of sort of is. Let's talk about it. I love the Dreamcast. I absolutely adore the Dreamcast. Growing up as a teenager, that was a really big console that really touched my heart. Sega seems to be embarrassed about it. They don't bring out a Dreamcast Mini. They kind of like put it into the background of stuff. And I thought it was quite a great console back in the day. I love the Mega Drive, I love the Saturn. But yeah, there was some absolutely banging games on the Dreamcast. And yes, we're going to talk about the Dreamcast 2. So you may as well get your PlayStation 5, stick a blue swirl on it, because it's the Dreamcast 2. Or if you have a PlayStation 4 as well, Dreamcast fans, come over to a modern console because you can play some absolute bangers. And I made this list today. It was, a lot of the games I did play on the Dreamcast. This is why I absolutely love the PlayStation 4, because I can play on a modern screen, really fast, really easy, really simple. None of this messing around with the loading. And the Dreamcast was quite notorious for its like weird little noises. It was kind of ahead of its time back then, but considering that was like 20 years ago. But you can play some absolute banging Dreamcast games now on the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4, and this is why I'm calling it the Dreamcast 2. And this list, wow. So we'll start off, top of the list, got Phantasy Star. Everybody loves Phantasy Star. You can play Phantasy Star online. You can play that on the new console. Tony Hawk's 2, yeah, that got remastered, so you can play that. You got Street Fighter 3, really expensive on the Dreamcast, and Double Impact. You can play that via the Street Fighter Anniversary bundle they have, which also has Alpha 3 in there. Shenmue 1 and 2 got a remaster, which is an absolute classic game for the Dreamcast. And you got the sequel on there. Dreamcast fans, mate, it is Dreamcast 2. King of Fighters 98, you can play that on there as well. You got some more King of Fighters games like King of Fighters 2000, 2001, the King of Fighters 2002, which was absolutely a banger. The new collection as well coming out, the Capcom Fighting Collection, has Power Stone. Remember that, guys? Power Stone? That was an amazing game. Cosmic Smash, that did come out. Everyone's like, oh, that's VR. But the new Dimension mode allows you to play as well. So you've got the Jet Set Radio remake that's coming out. If you're still waiting for that, you've got Bum Rush Cyberpunk, which is quite similar to Jet Set Radio. The Gunbird 1 and 2, that's on the Psycho collection. Ikaruga, you've got the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, which were on the Dreamcast. Sonic and Shadow collection, if you're missing a bit of Sonic. Again, with the new Capcom Fighting Collection 2, there is Capcom vs SNK 2, which is really expensive. Marvel vs Capcom, Marvel vs Capcom 2, which is also very costly these days. Plasma Sword, Project Justice. You can more fighting games like Soul Calibur, Rumblefish 1 and 2 you can play on PS4 and PS5. NBA 2Ks, obviously. They're not as good as the older ones. More sport games like NHL, there's new UFC, and most importantly, an absolute other banger, Res. You can play Res on there. So any sort of Dreamcast games that you were kind of itching back in the day and you're missing that kind of thing, this is why some of the remakes and some of the games getting added. I know it kind of winds people up, but for me, I'm just living back in 2000, and it is absolutely great to see a lot of these Dreamcast games get reloved and re-put onto the modern consoles. So what do you think? Do you think Dreamcast 2 is basically into the PlayStation? Let me know in your thoughts in your comments. Let me know what you thought. Like and subscribe, as always. It's been a pleasure.